Alright, so I'm getting down to this Chimera tank. I decided to do it before the infantry unit. The ordnance battery. And I think that it was a good plan. I find this manual pretty odd in the terms of nothing being numbered, so you just have to find the right pieces on the runner. But that's not really the end of the world. There's not really duplicates of anything except for the tracks and the sides of the hull, so yeah, that's about it. It's not too bad to find what you need there. I still need to clean up everything, but you know, these are some really nice detailed pieces. I'm really impressed with Warhammer's casting or molding. I know this is not resin, but I know they have resin models, but these are, you know, very nice detailed for just plastic injection molding. Like, look at all that. And then interestingly, so this one here has the skull and wings there. My friend said that there's a name for that. I don't remember what it is. Yeah, it's right here. They actually give you one to glue right on the front of the tank. And if you weren't going to do that, this would actually be a really cool piece to have and just add custom to anything else. I really like how this tank has a bulldozer track. Now you can actually see here there is a decent amount of overhang or flash on there. This is a 2009 kit, but I mean, like, this is a big piece, easy to clean up. That's not the end of the world. All the small pieces seem to be very, very clean. So I'm going to start assembling this at some point once I have these cleaned up. The only thing is that I think these cannons you want to paint separately because you don't glue these into the hull. You kind of like pop them in from behind and they're able to still have free movement. So I think you probably want these painted before that part goes on. And the other really notable thing about the build is, you know, all the different options that this tank obviously has for gameplay purposes. Here, you know, the gunner has an option between 3 different guns, and I really wish these were labeled. It seems like this is like a, you know, a plasma gun, some sort of flamethrower, and, you know, maybe just normal artillery. I'm not sure. The stats page on the back is kind of obtuse. You know, I don't really know what's what here. Like, I guess these are labeled 1 through 6, but like, what is the gear? What is the fist? I mean, that's obviously defense, probably shield. But yeah, this is definitely a bit beyond me. And I'm assuming the Gundam tabletop game will not have rules this complex, which may be a good or a bad thing. It might make that game have basically no shelf life, and then me and everyone else will have to run to Warhammer. My main hope is just taking those Gundam tabletop rules and modifying them until I'm, you know, finding them fun to play with myself with high grades. I'll paint a few of the minis, but I really want to be playing that game with high grades. And I really want to use the scoop on the tank. I think that just looks really cool. And it'll drive my toddler wild. He loves like bulldozers and excavators, of course. I'm definitely not going to color it like this. And I'm still debating if I'm going to use this guy popping out of the top or if I'll keep him for something else. Because I kind of do just want a tank, you know. That little guy up top makes the model a little bit more awkward to, like, you know, move around or play with or whatever. Although it does look really neat. All right. So I'll go back to you when this is primed up a little bit. Or probably when I'm just about to prime and everything's kind of first glued together. Now, I did keep a lot of these option parts on the runner. Everything in the box here is basically just the tank as is. Like, the little guy's still here, and trailer hitch and little handles and little things like that. But I will probably end up using most of these, but the different guns, you know, stuff, and maybe the human I'll save. So that was actually really fun. I have the finished tank right here. I knocked it out in an evening, cleaning up the parts and you know, gluing it together. Still a bit of cleanup to do, but I'm pretty confident that most of these nubs are pretty clean. Some edges here need to be cleaned up. Weirdly, the cannons on one side are a lot looser than the other, but These ones hold their position pretty well, these ones don't. But maybe once I get some paint on them, you know, that'll be a lot better. Definitely like more square detail per inch than any Gunpla. I think maybe doesn't quite warrant the price, but the build and the amount of options that you get is really fun. So I really can't complain because I'm definitely going to get my money's worth on this thing. There's some extra, you know, bits and bobs here, and the bulldozer basket scoop. And I think I'm gonna, you know, clean these up and then find a place for them, and maybe look through my Gunpla box and maybe grab a piece or two to sanction it as a Gunpla builder. Make it my own. I think I'm gonna save the little guy here for the ordnance battery. I think maybe one other troop, or maybe Kitbash, like one of the heads, onto one of these guys, unless they all include the same heads. I really am fond of this head here, this guy. And I think that might fit as like a spotter near the ordnance battery, since that scope probably gives them some increased range. Not sure if that's how that works, or if that's just like a laser eye or something. But maybe if I put that head on this guy, it'd be nice if I could figure out a way to maybe like pop the guy in and out of the tank. But this top here doesn't really hinge. You kind of just have the choice of open or closed. So this guy doesn't include full legs either, so I can't just have him standing on the diorama unless he's like an amputee or a dead body or something. And I did find out that this tank is also aquatic, and I'm a huge fan of aquatic mobile suits in Gundam. So I think trying to weather this around being partially underwater or going through swamps might be the move, since I have some experience there with aquatic mobile suits. This still opens and closes. I didn't glue this shut. I think this would be fun to just stash things in or stuff little troops in. Yeah, I'm really starting to get the fun factor here. Even just playing with this thing is very cool. So yeah, I'll get some extra bits and bobs on this thing, really make it my own, maybe add a Gunpla part or two. And then once I get the airbrush set up, next I'll prime it. And that's, I think, where I'm going to call it for the tank for now. While I do a little bit of research and figure out a color scheme and whatnot. I didn't prime the tank yet, and I got a little carried away. So here we have the tank built up, and this Chimera is really cool. The hatch here, I am gonna end up putting the guy in. I figure, you know, I just wanted to do a tank, but you know, when in Rome, I might as well pick a little mini and put him inside. I just put a little bit of glue on the hinge so I can just snap that off. I just didn't want to lose the piece. Same with the gun. I could have kept this as a sub-assembly and painted it separate, but I figure if I have trouble painting it, I'll just snap it off, cut it off, and glue it back on after. One thing that, as a Gunpla builder or someone who didn't grow up in like the 40 years of Warhammer, yeah, I really wish that the manual did the Revel thing of like labeling parts by their technical names. Because I mean, like, I don't know. I thought this was a bolt gun, but apparently this is a flame gun. I thought this was a normal gun, but I think this is a laser gun. I don't know what this is, but I think it's a camera. And so I thought camera over the spotlight works well. And there's extra panels with the kit. So I just kind of added them as extra armor plating on the side. Probably should have left the antenna off. I might end up snapping this, but oh well. As well as this here, I really don't know if this is a flame or a laser gun. I'm sure, you know, you instantly know what's what if you've been playing this game for a long time, but I really do wish that the manuals at least labeled, for the building's sake, what weapon was what. And I figured for painting, it'd be easier if I left the scoop off, but I'm going to use it on this build. I still want to find some more Gundam pieces and maybe add them to the hull, because with how silly and goofy this is, yeah, I think I could use a few more pieces on here to kind of over-design it or machine and creeper it a little bit. It's kind of confusing building all these guys because they give you a bunch of different poses and heads for them, but I did figure it out more or less. The confusing thing is making sure that I'll have the right ammo by the right gun on these ordnance batteries. So I would like to for sure know what's what on those guns. As a Gunpla builder, kitbashing isn't too new to me, so I'm really trying to say screw it to any steps on the instruction manuals for these little guys here. So what I've done is basically take all the guys out of this kit. The guy that goes in the tank here, and this is the body of a different guy. And then I looked into bolt action because I was talking about putting Japanese heads on them and kind of giving them goofy, you know, almost like World War II Japan vibes. And those kits are really cheap. It's crazy. I looked at it. It's like $20 for 6 guys. So I grabbed 6 little Japanese dudes that I'll mix and match the arms and the bodies with, and I'll have a few more guys. And maybe I can count like 5 of those as a platoon or 10 or something. I'm not too sure how that works. I don't know anything about the rules, so if anybody wants to give me a crash course or knows a really good video, let me know. I have a bunch of heads just rolling around in Tupperware here. So, you know, I'll take some of the guys from the ordnance battery heads and one of those and put them on the tank guy, and the head from the guy in there, and put them on one of the other guys, and then the Japanese heads and the bodies, and mix and match. And I think that'll be really fun. There was also like a $20 3-man kind of Hummer or transport from World War II that looked really cheap, and I thought would be kind of fun to add sci-fi guns to and make it part of my faction too, if I can proxy that into like a smaller vehicle or something. I'm not too sure what exists out there, so any help, I'd appreciate it. And just because of the little pieces, I left most of the arms on the runners. But I'm not too worried about if the arms go on the right guys or whatnot, because I can always fill gaps or re-angle the arms or add a little bit of plastic, peel away plastic if I need. So I was just looking at the local shops, and this guy, found him for very cheap. It's so weird, like 6 Cadian guys or 6 Astra guys will be like $60, $70 for 6 of these guys, which kind of blows my mind. That's a bit crazy. They cost as much as a tank here. This guy was less. This was like a $50 kit Canadian. So that's really exciting. And I'm thinking that if I have this and the batteries and this, and I prime them together, that'll be a fun sort of unit look. Interesting options on the kit here. There's a scout or a weapon variant, armored variant. My friend John BS, I saw on his build for this, he sort of glued everything properly so it was modular, and you could just take this front part off and it would be the scout Sentinel on the inside, or pop the front off. Very cool. So I might try something like that. And definitely go check out that series that he did on the Sentinel too, as well as the Chimera tank that he built. The Chimera tank was a really cool mod where he put wheels on it. And so I'm going to use some of his tricks for painting wheels, for painting the wheels on these batteries here, because I've never had to paint wheels. Gundams don't typically have wheels. So I think the kit bashing potential is really fun with what I have here, as well as the extra greebles I'll have to throw on Gundams or throw on other 40k kits or whatever. I'm gonna prime these guys through the airbrush and work on them by hand for the most part. Once I get those Japanese guys in and I kind of mix and match all the heads and bodies. But for the vehicles and the battery, I figure using this stuff that I got out at my mom's place that was sitting, in the garage for like a year. This is red oxide primer. I think red oxide primer does make sense. I think in the real world, this sort of stuff is used for priming equipment and vehicles like this as well. Now, it is not modeling primer, it's just general purpose primer. So it might be a bit grainier, it'll take forever to dry and cure, but I use non-modeling products all the time, and I think maybe some inherent texture might help this tank a little bit. The other thing I'll note from a Gundam builder's perspective is, usually I can clip out pieces and clean them up around my toddlers and just, let them run around and throw my pieces into a box for cleanup later. This is adult time. This is not the sort of stuff you want to be doing around kids. Little tiny cannons that you're never going to get back if your kid grabs them, and little tiny pieces to break. Very similar to armor modeling or that Revel boat. That's stuff that you do when you have the room all to yourself. Yeah, I think the detail on all this stuff is really exciting. It has me looking at Gundam in a little bit of a different way, wanting to add more greebles and detail to all my Gundams, thinking that, maybe a high grade out of the box is a little bit too flat or plain, except for some of those old UC kits. I really like old UC kits just looking completely flat and basically detailless, like the old anime. It's still weird to justify the amount of plastic that you get, like 6 guys that you build up. Maybe some weapons, maybe some extra heads, and that's going to cost you as much as a master grade Gundam. That gets a little hard to justify for me. I mean, I just made that sponsored video with the painted Hainu Gundam. Check that out if you haven't. Really great video. Fun to try the airbrush on there. And that for $12, you get so much plastic. You get a guy like this big, an SD Gundam, and it's not that intricate. It's a little model kit for kids, but you do get more plastic. Now it's plastic amount versus detail versus quality and the casting. This is all, stuff that that you have to weigh in. Plus, you can do something with these. You can play a game with these, and as of yet, until we modify the rules from the tabletop game coming out next year, you can't really do much with your high grades right now, unless you shove them into Battletech or shove them into Warhammer. Now, it'll probably take me a lot to build up a 1,000-point army. I think I'm at 300-something points right now. So I won't really have any commentary on how the game plays or my opinions on it for quite a while. Thinking of this as one project, it's going to take a lot longer than a Gundam kit. If you really, paint it to paint it, and not just get paint on it to play the game, you could spend months on it. I feel one of these kits or a little small faction. This is more so just general first impressions. I've still yet to prime anything, but I am excited by how much fun I'm having just kind of customizing these little guys and thinking about how I'm going to mix and match the arms and what weapons they're going to hold and stuff. It is very smart, the way that these kits work. Alright, that's it for now, but please let me know if you have any tips for building Warhammer, as well as any good ways to get into learning the rules or anything like that. As well as if you know of any good little vehicle proxies that are basically just transports that I can use that bolt action kit for. But I'll show off those bolt action kits in the next video. Take care, guys.